We are live now, here to chat about tonight's episode of Suits, which was entitled Revenue Per Square Foot. And I'm so excited. Alex, say hi.
Hi.
Uh, I have joining me this week a very special guest who I haven't seen on here in so long. It's been way too long. Um, she is one of the oldest Suits fans I know. One of the first, not old, but like one of the first people that I met here, has fabulous opinions about Suits, and this is a perfect episode to chat with her about it. So, Alex,
Yeah.
without further ado, would you kick us off and give us your rating on tonight's episode on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being terrible and 5 being fabulous?
I'm going to give it a 4.5, almost 4.7,
Ooh,
because
that's a really good rating.
I rate episodes based on how much they get me, and this one really it got me weepy. It was deep, so yeah, 4.5.
Yeah, I think for me the rating would be pretty high as well. And anybody watching in the chat, feel free to throw in your rating as well and any thoughts and questions that you may have for me or Alex. I think I would give it a pretty high rating as well, if for no other reason than the storylines of the week for this one. I kind of cared about all of them, which was just really fun. Like I was invested. There didn't really seem to be any like slow moments or down moments. um, it's kind of hard to pick a favorite because I liked quite a lot of things. By the way, just throwing this out there as if you can't already tell, I have a bit of a tickle, so I may be coughing. I think Alex is kind of in the same boat, so we're just going to get through this together. But in terms of picking a favorite, I think I start to struggle because there were so many really great moments, but there was nothing I really disliked. It was very seamless. Actually, you know what? I do have one tiny con, and I'll save that to the end because first we're going to go into pros. So, did you have, and both of us just watched the episode and live tweeted it,
Yeah.
coming off the episode, and it's only been a few minutes, what's the point that's sort of sticking out to you in your head? What's your favorite scene or favorite line or a moment you're like, ooh, I kind of want to rewatch that?
Oh, that scene when Harvey tries to approach Louis
Yeah.
to know what's wrong with him. It was, oh my gosh, Harvey is caring about him, and Louis finally opened up to him, and
Mm-hmm.
it was beautiful. The acting was beautiful. And you could see how worried uh, Harvey was about his friend, and he called him buddy, like it's okay, buddy. And he also talked about therapy.
Yeah.
They went to the subject, so that was so important to me. And oh my God, Rick deserves an Emmy. I don't know.
Yes.
All his scenes, all the scenes where he shows his emotions, you
Mm-hmm.
know, when he's angry or when he's super pissed and wants to cry or frustrated, you
Mm-hmm.
know, so good. He's a real good actor.
He is. Rick Hoffman's incredible. And I remember my initial thought when I was watching the scene, of course, where he gets mugged, and then the scenes subsequently following where he's struggling with this is, wow, they really put Lewis through the ringer. And so your heart kind of goes out for him because it seems like he always has something like this every season that he's struggling with. But I understand from a writing standpoint why they would do that because Rick Hoffman just knocks it out of the park every time.
Always,
He
yeah,
yeah, he does such a
always.
fantastic job in his one-on-one scenes. That was another thing I had been commenting about, that anybody he plays opposite of, he brings out the best in them. And I think we
Yeah.
got to see that with some longtime players like Harvey, of course, and we get to see their friendship and the growth that they've gone through come to light. But then we also get to see him play opposite a new person as well. What did you think of the storyline with him and Sam? I was pretty
I
intrigued, and I
liked
loved the bit at
it.
the end.
I liked it. And this is the first episode when I could actually connect with Sam. Because
Yeah.
so far I didn't felt invested. I wasn't sure if it was the acting or if it was maybe the role wasn't written well. I
Yeah.
couldn't. It felt superficial. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that's the right term.
Yeah.
Um, but but you know what I love about Suits is when they get personal, when we get to know more about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And this time they showed a very caring Sam. She said there was one of her lines was, I think I have it here. She said, "I may be new here, but I know what friendship looks like." You know, when
Yeah.
she was talking with Harvey, and finally I could get a glimpse of who she is, or what she's possibly
Mm-hmm.
going to come to be as a character, you know,
Yeah.
because she
She,
felt very distant and cold and strong woman.
yeah.
I don't know, I couldn't click with that.
Yeah, she seemed to be giving a good, she's an insider, but she's an outsider, and so she was able to give an outsider's perspective of Lewis, saying, there's something going on and I can't do it, but one of you guys can come in and help with it. And she's giving an outside perspective on like the friendships and the relationships that we see at the firm, which I find to be very useful because some of them are not explored or verbalized in the way that I think a character like her could come in and do so. So we do have another rating in the chat. Stormy gives it a 3 out of 5 and says that Lewis and Donna were the standouts in this
Yeah,
episode. So
that was good too.
Donna was fabulous, and I want to get into that
Yeah.
storyline as well because we get to see her kind of go toe to toe with Zane. Now, when this season started, Donna and Zane were on fantastic terms. In fact, she was one of the people that he seemed to appreciate the most at the firm. And we had those lovely scenes at the beginning of this season, not this episode, where they chat about, their mutual
Rachel. Yeah.
sadness with
Yeah.
Rachel leaving. But tonight they're kind of at odds and they fight in a very Donna and Zane way. He tries to give orders and she sort of Donna whispers him. What did you think of that?
You know, I never thought Donna would do what she did tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Approach Zane and do what she, well, what Zane said, do what she does, what she normally does with Harvey. And when she grabbed the shirt and said, you may not want to hear this, but I'm gonna say what I have to say, and you're gonna listen.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you know this. I feel like Donna has grown so much. It,
Mm-hmm.
it's she's talking to the managing partner of the firm. I've never
Yeah.
saw her
The new
doing.
Jessica, essentially.
Yes, that I was going. You know, I never saw her doing this with Jessica until no, 7 seasons. No, around
Mm-hmm.
season 6, she would talk with Jessica that way, but she never, talked with someone who is supposed to be um here,
Mm-hmm.
or be the superior level that
Mm-hmm.
way. And I love the
She was
way Zane
gutsy.
reacted
Yeah.
because he was kind of, I'm not, like in shock
I
because
think
she was
I
straightforward.
Yeah, I think at the end, I think at the end he was honored as well. He almost was sort of like, "Ooh, I got the Harvey experience." Like he was
Yes,
flattered that she would put that emotional energy into him, like what she does with Harvey, and he's sort of flattered or honored by it. And I love that touch at the end. I'm sorry,
yeah.
popping
In
it.
the end, they ended in good terms because she was honest and he got the message, and it hit. I think it hit him like a drug. Her words.
Mm-hmm.
She was very clear and she was speaking the truth.
Yeah, very much so. Now, let's talk a little bit about another comment we got in the chat saying the Lewis and Sheila thing needs to stop. The
Oh
scene this
my
episode
god.
was off-putting. What do
I
you think of
can't.
Lewis and Sheila?
It's, it's I you tweeted something about it,
I
and
did.
that's something that I've been repeating myself every week. He's always saying no, and she doesn't respect him. And she's
Yes.
always, I don't know, I don't know why people find, well, there are some people who find this romantic, but I honestly don't see them like a sheep. She asked him to quit his cat, and he's in the first, you know what? I think this season, at least mostly the first part of AA, is
Hmm.
focused on it's focused on Louis and how his relationship with Sheila is affecting his life. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
only storyline that has a continuation. I don't know how to
Hmm.
explain it.
Yeah, it's
But
showing this it's showing something that we don't often see on Suits, which is an attempt at a work-life balance. Most of the time, we only see these characters in the office. And a little bit outside, like at perhaps a bar, occasionally in the morning before they're leaving for work in their apartment or whatever, but we're not really seeing them consistently every single episode interacting with the same person at home. Outside of perhaps, Mike and Rachel, we got a bit of that once they were finally together. We would see like a scene per episode where they were together at the apartment, but often that was about work as well. So I
they were
think it's,
more normal. Mike and
yeah,
Rachel were more normal. This I don't know what the writers are trying to do. Maybe they are aware, but Louis and Sheila are not sexy, and I feel like they are trying to sell them as sexy, but no, it's
yeah,
not.
I think it's like they're trying to
It's
replace the like
not.
sexy thing with funny, but it's just hard to find their sex scenes even funny when he very obviously is often saying no at the beginning and she's not taking no for an answer. It just feels like not a great taste in humor.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is being written by men only because I don't see the the female side really.
Yeah. There's others in the chat. Carol, I believe, and Stormy, sorry, missed I think I missed one of them, saying Sheila doesn't have basic respect for Lewis. The relationship is toxic.
Yeah.
It's not being treated as such by the writers. And then Stormy also says she adores Donna, but she wants a storyline of her doing something other than having to sort of coddle or talk down men. I'm kind of curious because that does kind of transition into one of the things I wanted to ask you about. What is it you, excuse me, what is it you would like to see more of? What is it you would like to see changed? Is there anything you would say that you want altered or course corrected going into these next 6 episodes?
Um, I would like to see a more. So far, we only have been showed one side of Donna. It's her side, her professional
Hmm.
side, you know.
Right.
And I would like to know more about her personal life.
Yeah.
If it's up to par to her professional life, because she is very successful, at work. She's brilliant, but I don't know if she is happy because remember she by the end of season 6 she was asking for more. She went to
Yeah.
Harvey and she said I want more, but that wasn't really well defined. She got her
Right.
promotion, but that's it.
I would like to see more for her as well. I would like to see her have, I know I'm right there with you coughing. I think it's just that end of summer thing. I think everybody everybody gets the Donna treatment, but I want to see more about the source of her feelings. I want to see more of her individual reactions to things rather than just when she has to sort of mellow out somebody else's reaction to things. And I want to see more of her family because I feel like everybody else is getting a bit of family except her.
Yes,
We now
right.
have, we have Lewis's family starting with Sheila. We have Harvey's brother coming on next episode. We have there's been characters where we've learned more about their backstory, their origins, their family structures,
Yeah.
the baggage in their past, who haven't been around nearly as long. So I just want to see more of that, I think, for Donna. And then I'm quite curious what happens with Harvey's brother next week and whether we're going to see
Oh, that's gonna be.
What Harvey's family thinks of Donna. Have you seen the episode already?
No, no, I only have seen the promo,
Oh,
and
okay.
she seems no Harvey. We're going back. We're going to touch the cheating issues again, and Harvey's going to be conflicted about it, and
Mhm.
hopefully we'll go back to therapy. I've seen the promo pics for 2 weeks. Yeah, two
Yeah.
weeks from now, and he seems to be sitting in a room with which is alone. So maybe he'll go to ask for advice. And
Lifshitz is a pretty good therapist by this show's standards.
he's really good. He says so
Yeah.
many wise things.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
not
I'm always
Paula.
yeah. I'm always curious because I think on this show there's this sort of juggling act that I have when watching it where I want to see all of my, original favorite characters, all the ones who've been around forever. But I also love when we get an outsider's perspective on them because every time we get, for example, an outsider's perspective on Harvey and Donna, we get to see how other people see them and it kind of feels validating because most people will see them as something
Yeah.
more,
Mm.
nearly married or whatever. So I'm curious if we get that from Harvey's brother as well. I don't know.
I would love to see that. Someone else
Yeah.
is going to say, maybe Samantha is going to mention how married Harvey and Donna are.
Yeah. I
I
would
can't
like
believe,
that.
I can't believe she ate his nut bagel tonight.
Was that so
That
cute?
was so good. That was so married. It had
It really
a
was. And he
crunch
just like didn't even
screaming.
seem phased by it.
Yeah. And he stood there like, oh my God, my bagel.
I
It was
know, and
really
it's such a like classic married thing, like I know, like the trope of like when one person says that they don't want fries and then the other person orders fries, then the first person like eats all the,
yeah.
it just felt like that kind of thing where she was like, "Ugh, you didn't get a bagel or whatever," but then like she eats whatever he had anyways, and it's like y'all are so married.
Yeah. You know,
Stormy in the chat says she wants more of Katrina in and out of the office. Same for Donna. She
me
wants to
too.
see a friendship. So we had Katrina mentioned tonight, but we didn't really see her. What are your thoughts on Katrina so far, like this season in the past, and what you'd like to see going forward?
Oh, I enjoyed a lot her scene with Brian last week. I hope to see them working together again because they have
Mm-hmm.
such a nice chemistry. I was
They do.
almost feeling sheepy last week. I know I
It
shouldn't ship
was.
him.
It was.
I know he has a baby, but I mean, this show doesn't care about people being married or not. They just put them together if they want to. But it
Right.
was good. She is one of the characters I'm loving the most so far this season. The one I'm having trouble to connect with is Alex.
Yeah. Same.
I enjoyed him tonight, but I'm still not feeling it. And he's been with us like one season. Yeah,
Yeah,
all
he's
season
been
seven.
around a decent amount of time, and when he was first introduced, he was introduced under the premise that this is like Harvey's right-hand man, like he's
Yeah,
very much so supposed to seem like a replacement Mike, maybe, I don't know. But it was to the point where tonight, when there was the possibility that he could get an offer from another firm, it was like, why are we supposed to even care that much? I was very much with Donna at the end in the elevator when Harvey was like, we could have lost him. And she was like, and you would have learned your lesson. And I'd be like, that would have been a great lesson to learn. We could move on to something. Like, I want a little bit more from this character. However, in the promo for next week, it sounds like they're bringing his kids into this. Like, Sam's going to interact with his kids in some way. And that makes me curious if there's going to be some additional depth added soon. It also makes me curious under what circumstances, Sam is interacting with Alex's kids. That seems odd.
Yeah, yeah. You know that maybe that will be the episode when we are going to get to connect with Alex and more with Sam. I liked Sam in this episode a lot, a lot, a
I
lot.
did too. I really
Because
did.
I could see a side of her that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
The more I get to know these characters, the more I will, um, get invested or are
Yeah.
still gonna.
Yeah.
2 episodes ago, I didn't care if they got hit by a truck. I
Yeah,
did.
same. When they were first introduced, it was like I didn't really care. Carol in the chat says she hadn't embraced Alex either. She did like Tonight with him, and she says she thinks they tried to make him replace Mike a little too quickly, but she's not sure if that will happen. Yeah, I think the whole like
See,
replacement thing, I like the transition instead, the way they did the transition from Rachel to Katrina. Katrina was already an existing character, and they've just brought her more to the forefront in the absence of Rachel. So I think that that's really interesting. I do have it's sort of a one last question for you. Speaking of all of these characters and their replacements, we were sort of teased or promised a replacement ship this season, that we're going to see a new pair of characters become romantically involved this
yeah.
season. So for you or for anybody watching in the chat, we've now had 4 episodes. Who do you think that's going to be? What pair are we supposed to expect? You did mention Katrina and Brian. Is that your contender?
I like them, but I'm not sure if that's the ship they are going to give us. I don't want to think it's Liz and Sheila because I don't like them
Mm,
together. I know they are
yeah,
supposed to be comic relief, but that's it.
yeah.
But romantic, maybe someone new will come in. I think that maybe Donna will get a new love interest,
Mm-hmm.
or that's what some people are saying. Others are saying that Harvey and Donna are already sleeping together. And
I
what
have been
if,
suspecting
what if they
that
are the new ship?
because of the way they act in the office. Like they don't
Yeah,
act like they're romantically involved, but they seem they
see,
just seem closer than they have.
they,
However, her speech at the elevator when she was talking about Alex, and she was saying explaining why Alex would have needed that call, and she said some people just need to know where they stand, and if you don't get your shit together, you're going to be the one that's hurt or whatever, and it felt like there was a double meaning there. Did you get that too?
possible. Yeah, yes. I kind of feel it, but I didn't want to feel it because I wanted to believe that they are.
I want to
That
believe that
there's
they're
a
together as well. So
possibility.
I was like, no, it can't be. They're already but if they're not, that definitely felt like a double meaning.
Yeah, I mean, everything is still there for Harvey and Donna to get it on at any time.
Yes.
They just have the writers have to pick up the storyline again, and things are going to get heated.
Oh
It's going
yeah.
to blow up, definitely.
They've
Yeah.
they've kept the tension up with the flirting and the
Oh,
I'm gonna pull your
every
tails
single
and princess and all
episode.
of that.
Yeah, she didn't have to eat his bagel, but he ate it. She ate it tonight. It was so good.
It was, I mean, it was such a clearly flirty move. The pulling the pigtails line and the eating the bagel bit both seem like such clearly flirtatious
I
moves. So I
got
was happy to see
very,
this.
very visual when he said he was going to pull her pigtails. Oh my god, that was so good. Their
It's so
lines are
cute.
there. They are clear to me. Their lines are as blurry as lines can get. They're still there.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know what that music was in the background, but yes. Um,
Oh,
I'm really curious to see if the flirting kind of builds up and intensifies more towards the mid-season. That's something I would kind of like to see. Comment in the chat says they could try with Lewis and Sam. She's helping him deal with the mugging. That'd be interesting. I kind of want to see Lewis out of a relationship for a while, and I kind of like the idea of Lewis and Katrina, but it seems like they're not going there. So I don't know. Maybe Lewis and Sam.
oh.
Sam and Katrina is another guess for me.
Sam and Katrina. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sam and Louis, that could work.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, I don't know. They are going to start to get closer. If she's going to give him self-defense lessons, they are going to start
Right.
to get closer. They are going to be more, how do you say? Um, they're going to become friends,
Yeah.
and something might happen there. But he seems to be so fixated on Sheila. I'm
Yeah,
not
I think he's
sure.
especially fixated on Sheila because of
Yeah.
the child component of it and him wanting a child.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out because I definitely see that being a full season story or even longer. That seems like that story is going to
Yeah.
be quite a process. But I'm with you and everybody else in the chat. I really am not feeling the Lewis and Sheila connection. So we'll see. I am feeling the Harvey and Donna one, and I'm up to see what they do for everybody else. Except for Alex and Sam. I don't think I would want Alex and Sam together because that seems like too much of like a cliche, like they're supposed to be rivals and then they
Yeah.
get together. So we'll see. But every other combination I'm kind of interested in. Well, Miss Alex, thank you so much for joining me. Even though I have a cough and you have a cough. Thank you for fangirling with me
Thank
about
you for
Harvey and
having
Donna
me.
and chatting with me about Suits. If anybody watching wants to find you and chat with you more, where can they find you, the things you write, what you're up to?
Oh, you can find me right now just on Twitter
Mm-hmm.
at tmuseums, and I'll be there, and you can message me or send me whatever you want to send me. I'll be
Yes.
there and I'll
Yes.
answer.
And I have Alex's information and social media links already in the description box below, so you can go find her, chat with her, and thank her for joining me. So, Alex, I hope you feel better. I hope I feel better as well quite soon. And everybody watching, I will see you here, same time, same place next week to chat more about Suits. Bye.
Bye.